Welcome back. We are live. I'm not pooping. I did poop today. You're supposed to poop every day. That's what experts say. Welcome back.
Well, the one crazy thing.
Feedback on my other laptop. How we doing, guys? How we doing, folks? Everyone that's in here. I am Johnny Barks. I'm your host, and my other host is to my left.
This is Bryan B. Gert Sports.
Where did our name
Johnny
tags?
jumped on? Yeah, where did they go? When Johnny jumped on while we were preparing for this show, he was completely naked, and that's not a joke.
No, I wasn't. I had shorts on.
Well,
Why
they were riding low. His shorts were riding low then.
What are you talking about? What did you see?
I saw a little bit of fupa.
Well, that's already off the rails. How was your week? We are losing viewers. How was your week, man?
It was good. We didn't have a show last week. It was just a busy week for us. But
your Bears got the W. Bears got the W. I feel like no one talked about the Bears this week, which is like a good thing for you guys.
That's a good thing. Yeah. And what the new thing people talk about? What do you think the new thing people talk about now?
You were talking about the Vikings all week, and I'm still hearing from Vikings fans.
Well, I'm talking about in the context of Chicago and Caleb Williams. What is the new talking point?
The White Sox sucking?
No, for Caleb Williams in particular. What's the new talking point for him?
He celebrates funny.
I was trying to get you to talk about how they compare him to Jaden Daniels a lot, and how Jaden Daniels is going crazy this year.
That's unfair.
I agree. That's unfair. It's a different situation.
It's something you can use for ammo if you're just trying to poke fun at Bears fans. But other than that, it's
right.
Two different situations and two different offenses.
But
that's cool though.
What are you up to tonight?
Let's get to the intro. Let's hit the. We need to restart this show. Let's hit the intro.
I woke up ready, man. I got a call right after I got dressed. They was coming to pick me up at 9:30 in the morning. I told them I'm gonna be ready.
I like the Johnny Barks Show! All around badass. That's who Johnny Barks is.
Johnny Barks. Shout out to Johnny Barks. They crushed it with the editing.
Came in here shooting. I mean, I saw his ass walk in here, get a camera on. I had a camera on me as soon as you guys walked in here. I was like, all right, this dude is on it.
What do you mean Barks has fight? Johnny? What do you mean Barks has fight? Johnny? What do you mean Barks?
Brats are warm.
Brats. I never registered what he said there, but he said the brats.
The brats are warm.
They are still warm.
Yeah.
They were still warm. You guys had already made all of them when I got there.
Yeah,
that was back in March. And Battlehawk. That was the opening weekend for Battlehawks.
Yeah, we should do that again. That was super fun.
No, we're not interested in trading Romeo Dobbs. That is what the Packers have said. I don't remember who. I thought it was Tom Pelser. I don't remember who reported that, though. Yeah, that was a weird situation. I guess we could talk about that real quick. Kind of looks bad for the Packers. If you're a receiver who he's been a good red zone target since he got to Green Bay. He's just been a very solid, good receiver we could always rely on. Nothing usually flashy. Makes some great, spectacular catches, though. When he's about to get an opportunity when Christian Watson's out, it's just a little weird.
So walk through why do you think he was not showing up?
There, I don't know. There's just a lot, I'm sure, behind the scenes we don't know. Apparently there was on an interception last week that was intended for Dobbs, I think. So I didn't see the video that someone reported. One of the reporters that was at the game reportedly said that he threw his helmet down and was really upset after one of the interceptions thrown his way, and he just kind of been grumpy all week apparently, and just in a bad headspace. And it's kind of affecting his work. And I don't know. I don't want to read in. I don't want to assume too much about I don't know the man, obviously.
Right. My thought is trying to correlate it with Watson being out. Maybe there was some conversation as to what his role would be. And
that's what the report was. He wasn't happy with his
role.
Yeah, his role in the offensive game plan this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's the assumption that he just thought he would be involved more, and he just didn't have many plays directed to him, even though it was only Wednesday or Thursday. I guess they already know the game plan for the week, but I don't know. It's weird. all around. I'm sure there's some weird details that we don't know about. I know like some players have issues with LaFleur with how like he's not necessarily a hard ass, but compared to other, he was kind of known as a player friendly coach, but he seems like he's very Kurt Benkert said he just doesn't really tolerate bullshit very well.
Right.
Compared to a lot of the other coaches. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not in the locker room. Speaking of which, media getting kicked out of the locker rooms to interview players. What do you think about that?
I saw, was it Juszczyk who made a...
Yeah, he said that's one of the 49ers reporters who's been like
one of the beat reporters there
on Twitter too.
Yeah.
Grant Cohn, he apparently is dog watching.
Yeah. I saw that and I wanted to I think I might have retweeted it, but yeah, no, that was so funny and I was like it's got to be so uncomfortable after finishing a game, especially if you lost too. But after finishing a game and then you're trying to get cleaned up and all this stuff and get out and there's people, like tons of people around you trying, like there's really not a ton of privacy. Now, obviously, there's a huge spaces, and you've actually been in some on your trips. You've probably been in the locker room.
Yeah, never like a live locker room. I got to go inside. There's like a lot of space. It's a very big locker room, and there's a lot of men. That was the thing when we went to the Europe. The big difference was like how small the soccer locker rooms were because it was like 11 dudes compared to 55 plus the coaches and trainers too. So they're like ginormous. They had to like build special locker room just for the once a year. Anyways,
right.
I feel like you should be able to frame it. Like as a media person, like I feel like you should be able to frame it without getting anything in the background. Like just have them face. Like the easy solution is just have them face the locker, which is most of how they go. But I guess the way that they are, some lockers are like, I don't know. There's
got to be like a common space though. Like, I mean, a locker room is a common space, but I mean like a common space to where it's not people getting dressed and getting
100%. I mean,
undressed. Like.
The thing is, like those hallways are always like awkward spaces. It's kind of like a big, like they're. That's the thing. There kind of almost is no. That's what the press conference room is for. And then, I mean, there's like not a lot of just like random space because usually it's just like people are walking around, people are unloading, loading stuff from the game. I don't know. I don't know the big perfect solution. I don't think there is a perfect solution, but it's like it's one of those nuanced things. It's just like whatever. I don't know if might hurt media people not getting stories or not getting sound.
Right.
Maybe I don't know, but
I mean, a lot of classic media clips, football, a lot of classic like viral clips come from the locker room.
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't know what Bilal was talking about. I haven't seen that yet.
I could find it on Twitter. I don't remember. I don't even know where to find it. But basically, it's one of those social media things. It was like they had a sign. It's like walk with this way for pineapple and pizza, yes, and this way, no. And like Dobbs just like had made quick eye contact with the cameras, like shook his head, and like well, it was like weird vibes. He's always a very soft-spoken person, though. He's always been very quietly nerd-like, just kind of like very upfront and yes, no, yes, sir.
Right.
So I don't know. I just hope he's all right. He's one of my favorite. Like I was excited about him. Nevada guy, Carson Strong in college. It was like he carried him. Actually, he got hurt, didn't he? That's kind of sad. He should have got a chance. Anywho, that's what's going on this week. Let's just get straight to.
Let's jump right into it.
Let's just jump right in. We clickbaited y'all into clicking on it for fantasy advice, and we're gonna go with our fantasy advice. Okay, did you upload the thing?
Unupload what?
I found it.
Feel free to give us a call. We'll I'll put it in the chat so we have it there. 314.
Yeah, I also tweeted it. Well, this is the same picture. I didn't.
472-3772. I just put it in the chat so you guys have it. Feel free to give us a call if you'd like to ask some questions.
Assuming we haven't got any calls yet.
Yeah, I guess I haven't really.
I mean, you didn't check that one time and someone called us, so I mean, you never know. All righty, this week's pick. Explain this. What the hell is this?
So, and we can't even see half of these, or all of them. I had like a crazy. So I got a $25 referral code. I didn't go through Perna stuff.
Why would you say that? You're just telling on yourself.
Yeah, I apologize. but I got $25 for it, so I don't care. I used that $25 to put 2 crazy pick'ems together. One was for the WNBA game, and that one was horrible because I don't watch WNBA basketball. Also, it's random. And then the other one was this game, the London game. And I'd say pick any random 3 of those and put them into a pick'em, and you'd be successful most of the time. I feel good about those picks. So we have Tyler Conklin, 3 receptions or more. Braden Allen, longest rushing play would be 11 and a half, under 11. Yeah, under 11 and a half yards. There's a lot of them. You could just see what I'm talking about. But
if you can read with your little glasses. I think Lazard, that's always a wild card. You never know if you're going to get like 100 yards with him because Rodgers loves him.
Right. I also have a Garrett Wilson touchdown. I don't know if he's actually scored a touchdown yet this year.
He has. He scored one. He scored one in that I don't remember who they're playing that game. That was the Patriots game. He fired in there. Yeah. I made like a clip comparing like the two because he made a very similar touchdown in 2014 against the Bengals. Or no, 2017 in the Bengals, I guess.
Yeah, he has 1 receiving touchdown.
Alrighty. Let's get on. Oh yeah, Tristan. I was trying to answer this. I'd have to know the rest of your team, but like I don't blame. I mean, it's rough because that's who they want to get involved, I'm sure. And I mean, they're still trying to throw it to him like on screens and stuff when I get him involved. I don't know, man. It's tough because he could go for 100 and a tutty any week. You never know, but like it's rough. If you've stuck with him to this point, I think you stick with him at least another week or 2.
Right.
I mean, and
we would just need to know who your other players.
Yeah, honestly, just see who you're. If you have any better options,
you should have. I mean, Tyreek should. If you have like a 3 receiver league, Tyreek should be your 3rd wide receiver.
Yeah, if it's only 2 receivers though, you could probably have better options. But
yeah.
Alrighty, let's go to our sleepers for the week. You been sleeping enough, Bryan?
Yeah, I feel like it.
I got good sleep last night. I only got like 6 hours, but I feel like a good quality 6 hours.
Johnny's gonna get some good sleep tonight too. I heard.
Maybe.
We're going to talk about that. Whoa. I just want to show off how horrible I'm doing this year. Shout out Miami for not blocking.
Yeah, I had big Achane FOMO after not drafting him, and now I don't regret not drafting him.
By the way, you could text that number that I put in there. You don't.
Oh yeah, you can text him too. Text him at night when you're feeling lonely.
I did get a voicemail, by the way.
You need a friend, Mr. Fantasy. I missed your comment earlier. I'm sorry. I hope you're still here.
All right, here's the. Do you want to hear the next voicemail?
Oh yeah, we got one. We got a new one.
We do.
Let's take
Here
it
we go.
with our ears.
All right, this is Ree Hitsuya once again. I have a question about tight ends and running backs. Tight end, I had Mark Andrews early. He's been an absolute bum, full-on bum. I benched him this week for Noah Fant, Seattle versus Giants. Please tell me that's not a mistake, especially because Baltimore-Cincinnati could be extremely ugly. He might just be blocking all game again. 2 is for running backs. I picked up Tajay Spears last week. Him and Pollard got me through the win. However, they're on a bye week, so I had to substitute them both out. I've got Ramondre Stevenson against Miami. Hopefully that works well because Miami stinks.
I would not play Ramondre. I would not play Ramondre.
Vegas. Or on my bench, I picked up Hill.
Pause it. I'm sorry. I'm so focused on this. I just need to stop it. Just stop. I could be very wrong. I mean, maybe something happens, but like Ramondre Wood just got docked. Like he's no longer the starter in New England. Antonio Gibson is now the starter running back in New England. So I would not. I mean, maybe he gets a goal line touchdown. That's like your best bet. But like, no, I don't like that at all.
I think Ramondre Stevenson will get a decent amount of touches still, but with how they've organized the depth chart now, it's not looking great for him. One of the things that I would say, going back to your tight end question, I don't want to give up on Mark Andrews. Like, I really don't, like, because this is the issue. The Ravens offense can do a lot at random times. And you saw like Likely went off the first game and then didn't do much. Like if we're talking boom or bust, like I don't want to give up on Mark Andrews just yet because he is a very talented tight end. But it would be a toss up for me with Noah Fant and Mark Andrews. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Johnny?
See, I was kind of all out on Mark Andrews after week 1. I was ready to overreact. I didn't take him any drafts. I was a little nervous about him regardless, coming back from injury. Plus, he got in a freaking car wreck right before training camp. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, no offense, like I'm not confident in him either.
Right. Well, let's see what Yahoo, Stardom, and Siddums have. Neither of them on there, so this isn't helpful.
Neither.
Neither.
Just go with your gut. I mean, if you want to stick with Mark Andrews, I would. I almost would rather than because I wouldn't feel bad if Noah Fant did something on my bench, but I would feel bad if Mark Andrews finally did something on my bench. But like, I don't know, like that's not necessarily the logic you want to take there.
And here, the Juwan Johnson thing is Taysom Hill officially out this week?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so Juwan Johnson might be a good pickup too. There too, because he'll
yeah, he's always a good start because he can always he's a great red zone target for Carr ever since Carr got there. I mean, even before Carr, Johnson was like a good red zone target.
Right.
He's like a perfect waiver tight end, honestly. Right. You picked him as your tight end like how many times now, probably?
Yeah, but one of those times he's gotten 0, and another one time he's gotten like 2. I'm gonna finish the voicemail real quick.
Oh yes, go ahead.
But Jaleel against Vegas, or on my bench, I picked up Justice Hill. Do I rely more on the running game, Justice Hill catching and running against Cincinnati, looking weaker, or do I trust Jaleel McLaughlin to get more reps against a depleted Vegas team? Thank you.
So I think
is it PPR? If it's PPR, I'd go McLaughlin, but like I'm not very confident in it. If it's full PPR,
I would say is it
Mr. Tank called
Hill, isn't there another running back in Denver now that's like?
Well, Javonte got it. Like he kind of regained the starting role. It seems like after last week. Beatty.
Right, but isn't there a third? Yeah.
Yes. Tyler Beatty. It is Beatty, not Batty, not Bidet. It is Beatty. Bidet is fun though. I want to call him Bidet. Beatty. He had like a scary injury last week. I don't know if he's going to be playing. I don't know. I haven't read into it. I don't have any Broncos on my team because I drafted Courtland Sutton because I thought he might get traded to the 49ers. That didn't happen. And then,
so
they're not a great team. They're just not a great offense.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Justice Hill looked amazing too last week too. So.
See, I feel like I don't know if it's going to be like a gross AFC North game or if it's going to be like a high flying game. I feel like I don't want to believe it, but my gut tells me it might be like a close back and forth game. So Justice Hill might not be a terrible start, but at the same time, AFC North games are like they're always low scoring. It seems like, I don't know, man. I think the Bengals are playing desperate right now. They need another win. I know they finally got like a win last week. But they need like to get their season back on track. And I think Jamar Chase and that team is playing pissed off. And I think they might put up some points so the Ravens aren't going to just be able to hand it to Derrick Henry all night. They might have to throw it.
I also think play the hot hand too, though. So that's why I think I would want to play.
Yeah. He finally got a touchdown last week. I wouldn't be surprised if he like in the end zone again.
Yeah. And McLaughlin would be considered a cold hand, like he's losing touches.
Yes, exactly. I mean, he could get some touches back because of Beatty's injury. I just don't know the latest on that. I could look it up real quick.
All right, so we have one more. Mr. Tank called in.
Oh, he's on IR. Yeah, he's on IR. So McLaughlin isn't. I just don't like the offense.
I might have been seeing something about they activated somebody off their. The Broncos activated somebody is what I thought, but still, it doesn't matter. I still think I would lean Justice Hill, but all right. So here's Mr. Tank's message. Again, haven't vetted it, so I never vet these and then somebody will call in and say something
All right,
inappropriate.
so I have something to rage about. So a few months ago, I saw this guy. He's a Chiefs fan. And he posted, like, what's the most, like, underdog Super Bowl champion all time? And he says number one, the Kansas City Chiefs this year. They only played one home game, and all the rest were away. And I just thought to myself, he just not included 2011 Giants and 2010 Packers, or 2012, whatever. Yeah, and that made me mad because those teams really had to fight for their playoff. They didn't have – well, they had subpar quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers was like 3 years old. Eli Manning was half decent. I don't know. I don't really remember. Anyways, I just think that's just stupid how he just said that the best underdog Super Bowl was just the Chiefs this year. And okay, bye.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely like, you got to give them credit for like all they overcame, but of all time, definitely not. Like the 2008, was it 2008 or 2012? I believe it was 2008. They were called like there's a video on YouTube, you can look it up, of like every expert on like the studio experts, at least the Fox guys, every one of those like went against the Giants in all three of their games. Like it was against, I think it was 2012. Yeah, because they played the Cowboys week 1 and they beat the Cowboys, and then they played the Packers, that 2012 Packers team that was like 15-1, stomped our asses. I cried that night. That was great. And then I think even an NFC Championship game, they played the Eagles or something. I want to say, I don't remember who it was. Maybe the Falcons. But yeah, and then they won the Super Bowl too against the perfect Patriots. It's like, yeah, that was or no, it wasn't the perfect Patriots, but it was either way. Both of those years they were like underdogs. So,
right. No, I mean 100%. And why would you ever consider a current Chiefs team within the past like 3 years? Why would you ever consider them an underdog in anything?
They also were. I'm pretty sure they were favorites in this. Oh, they were like +2, I think, in this year. There was not that much of a difference. It was It was a very even matchup for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, and Chiefs fans should not consider themselves underdogs ever at this point. Really, they will. They're like the Patriots at this point in that like they have good enough coaching, a good enough solid core to where they will win games even if they shouldn't be winning those games.
Yeah. I just did a whole stupid video about the Chiefs last night, but
yeah, good thoughts. Thanks for calling in, Tank.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's get on with our positional players.
Yeah, buddy. Let's see. So we got these. By the way, these picks are designed to be under 50% owned in specifically Yahoo leagues.
Just made it 49%. Let's go.
And these are just who we think will be the underdog this week that's going to go off. Well, I just said underdog because we were just talking about underdog. But that's not. It's a sleeper pick. A sleeper pick, one pick per position that we think is going to go off this week. It's not necessarily like who you should go pick up on waivers, but it's just
if you need somebody. It is if you need. I always take it as like it's like a sleeper pick, but also if you need someone like immediately, like your quarterback all of a sudden is like hurt. And
Saturday night, you need somebody because something happened. Anthony Richardson was declared out. Who are you going to pick at quarterback? Well, I'm going to say Joe Flacco. Pick up his backup here. He did amazing things in Cleveland, filling in for the Predator, as I call him. So he's been in this situation before. And he's just like, he's one of those guys that will come in and you see this a lot this year, a lot of veteran quarterbacks recently who've just been in this situation before. They've been in a pocket. They know how to run an offense. Even if they're not that great, they'll come in and they'll do some spectacular things because for some reason the quarterback play is just going downhill in the league right now.
Yeah, I saw someone post on Twitter. It was like all this new defensive scheme that all the young quarterbacks are having trouble with. All the old quarterbacks are coming in and cooking like Flacco. And
exactly. Yeah, Darnold. What?
Yeah, Darnold.
Yeah,
I guess he's still only like 27, dude. The Vikings could sign him for like a long-term contract. That's the crazy thing.
Which
and it
would
wouldn't
be cool.
even be. Yeah, it wouldn't even like you wouldn't think about it. But yeah, he'll be 34 when it ends. That's like still
right.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville's given up the most fantasy points for opposing quarterbacks. That's the only other thing I want to say. Go ahead. Talk about Aaron Rodgers here.
Aaron Rodgers. I'm just going off vibes. Going off vibes here. Playing the Vikings, I feel like he's going to have. I think he's not going to US Bank. This is in London. So London games, a lot of times they're not so great on the offense. This isn't a great. Like I just didn't have a lot of good options. I didn't want to. I was very close to picking Sam Darnold, but he was like 60-some% owned. Rodgers, you just got to think they're going to bounce back after a bad week. Just going off vibes. He wants to kick the Vikings' ass again. I don't think he wanted to lose because I think he'd love to give the Vikings their first loss of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I actually have the Jets this week in my predictions, my pick'ems. So I'm just hoping. I'm really just hoping. That's all. This isn't really great advice.
That's okay.
He's my most owned quarterback I have, but this is like the least confident I'm actually in my pick.
Across the pond, visiting our friend Luke.
London, the worst pies in London. And on the running back end, we got Emmanuel Wilson. He has more touchdowns than Josh Jacobs on the year. Did you know that?
Whoa.
He does. LaFleur's always been like a guy that doesn't want to overwork his running back. I know. I feel like this is the week Josh Jacobs is finally going to get in the end zone against a not so great Rams team. I think we're projected to score like a lot of points this week. God, I hope it happens. I would love it. And not like a dramatic comeback way that falls short. Yeah, Wilson, he's definitely like the second guy. Like Marshawn Lloyd's been banged up since training camp. I feel like they're just going to roll with Wilson like through the year, honestly. I think 13% should be way higher ownage percentage. That might just be guys who have Josh Jacobs on their team.
Right.
But yeah, I know. I think he's their more receiving back almost too. He's getting that like he was a receiving touchdown, not even a rushing touchdown. And yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to limit. They don't want to overwork Jacobs too early, knowing that their running back room's already thin, so they're going to get their mileage out of Wilson because he's the undrafted dude from last year, practice squad guy that we really liked, and I think they're really going to give him some reps the rest of the year.
We have a quick question in the chat. Ryu wants to know Green Bay or Jets defense. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would pick the Jets defense.
It depends on how your scoring is. I'd probably pick Green Bay just because the Rams are injured to hell. Green Bay is very aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised if you get another defensive touchdown. I haven't checked on Jair's status, but we've got an interception we lead the league in interceptions. I gotta hope our freaking pass rush does something against this injured Rams offensive line.
Right.
But I think I would go for Packers. Unfortunately, that might be.
I think I would lean that way too.
I don't think the Jets is a bad pick because, like I said, that's in London. So, like,
I was going to say
those games favor the defense.
Right, exactly. That's what I was going to say. I have Tyrone Tracy Jr. I don't know if you guys watched him in college. He played for Iowa and then Purdue. He was a wide receiver. He started out as a wide receiver and transition.
He's really shifty.
Yeah, so he's like definitely like one of those running backs who's like a catch and run type of back. Super when he plays well, he looks amazing. And so Devin Singletary's out. He's the next up on the depth chart. I think it's one of those things where he'll have a lot of opportunities to just, catch and run again. So I don't know. He has one fumble on the year. He's got like 2.7 yards per carry, but he really hasn't had a ton of opportunities. So
no, yeah. I think I like this pick a lot.
Yeah.
Neighbors is out, so he's probably going to get a lot of catches on us. They're going to do like a lot of quick passes, I feel like, with him.
Right. And also he's if you have a PPR league, you might want to look into Tyrone Tracy.
Bingo.
All right. Who do we got next? Wide receivers. I have Alec Pierce. I'm pairing this with my Flacco pick. So and Alec Pierce is one of those guys where you kind of forget he exists in anything. Like he's like the second wide receiver on a team that's like not known for their receiver play. But he's very strong. I want to go back. We have half PPR. What did he score the first 2 or 3 weeks? Last week he didn't do much, and that was when Flacco was playing, oddly enough. But still, he's
he had those big bombs from Richardson week 1 and week 2, I believe. That's like most of his production.
Yeah, the 2 big plays. Yeah, he scored. 24 and 14 in our league, and that's half PPR.
You can say he's due for one though. Who the Colts play this week? I forgot.
Jacksonville. They give up the 5th most receiving yards in the league. So and he got 7 targets in week 2. Haven't really gotten a bunch of targets, but he's one of those like random threats that when you have a pass first quarterback like Joe Flacco, that's like will always be a pocket passer and he's not trying to make any moves with his legs. It just opens the door for wide receivers. And also Jonathan Taylor's injured. So that's also going to help for, they need to target their actual good weapons. So I like Alec Pierce this week.
Yeah, I think the real benefactor of is Josh Downs with the new Flacco edition, because Josh Downs had like 8 catches for 81 yards, something like that last week. That was the first time he did anything like all year. Finally looks healthy again too. So I love Josh Downs. I wish I could have grabbed him for my squad. He's probably not available on your waivers, but if he's available, grab him right away.
Right.
Jalen Tolbert is who I grabbed. Only 6%. He's already. I'd have to check his. I didn't actually look at his stat line. I just took him because I know if he's already been like a target, like kind of a playmaker target for them. But also Brandon Cooks is hurt, and he's been also placed on IR, so he'll be out at least another 4 games. So Tolbert will probably get some targets there, and a lot of the so-called experts are shooting him up their rankings. So act accordingly.
Right on. I like that pick.
Thank you. It's a sneaky. Still only 6%. It's kind of shocked. Even with before the injury, I thought that was like.
He's a good guy to bet on too. Like
he's their third receiver, and like the Cowboys, they're still going to throw like. Prescott's been throwing like 40 times a game if you take out like week 1.
Right. No, I really like. I've done a lot of parlays with him in them, and he's always gotten my parlay.
Hell yeah,
it's like a higher every time. All right, you have Tyler Conklin.
I have Tyler Conklin. Yeah, I believe last week he didn't do much, but he still got like 8 targets. Rodgers loves tight ends, especially like I guess a lot of quarterbacks love their tight ends, especially in the end zone. But he really likes Conklin. It seems like he's like legit third target in the passing game after Wilson and Lazard. I think if you need a tight end, like the tight ends are so weird this year. Mm-hmm. You're finally getting something out of Pitts after Thursday Night Football. Finally getting some consistency out of like Kittle, but like everyone's just struggling with their tight ends. I think this is a guy you can throw in. Right. He might put up a touchdown. Like he has a decent touchdown opportunity, and I think this is going to be a high scoring. I know London usually isn't, but I think this might be a higher scoring game than we think.
I think he'll. I have him on my pick'em, my 8-leg pick'em that I'm going to win $1,000 on, for higher than 3
catches
or 3,
2.5 catches.
Yeah, so 3.
I think he can definitely get. I like that too. I like that 3 catches because he got 8 targets last week. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think they might just lean on their. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to talk about Gesicki, but
I was going to say I think they might go quick passing on this Vikings defense
on this little trip across the pond.
Yeah, because Flores likes the blitz, so they might send him on some, get a couple of flats there. I like that for your bet more than honestly my fantasy.
Gesicki. I remember I had a really good nickname, or a really good fantasy name when I had Mike Gesicki and Nick Chubb. Gesicki, my Chubb. Thought that was a good one. But Gesicki went downhill really quickly when he was playing. He had like a one really good, really decent 8-game stretch for the Dolphins, and then he's just been kind of average after that. Just average tight end play in the NFL, so which isn't much. Like an average tight end in the NFL doesn't do much.
He had a really good touchdown, I think, week 1 that got called incomplete, but I feel like it could have went either way. So he's that call away from being a relevant fantasy tight end, honestly. So I don't. Yeah.
The Bengals. I don't know if you follow the Bengals very much, the tight end room for the Bengals in particular, but there's a rookie, might be familiar, Eric All. He came out really strong this year, or came out really strong last week, and he played 60% of the snaps.
The Hawkeye.
Yeah. He played 60% of the snaps last week, and Gesicki only played 32%. So
that's not great. Why'd you pick him then?
listen. It's one of those things where it's like, I think it's like a pendulum. A lot of these picks are pendulums, and with when you have like dual threat situations, like if it's not going to be a week for Jaden Reed, it'll be a week for Dontavian Wicks or whatever, or whoever's available, like that type of thing. Running backs do it a lot in certain teams, and tight ends do it a lot sometimes too. But I'm not super panicking. I'm kind of doubling down on Gesicki this week. They're playing the Ravens, who give up the second most points to tight ends out of 4 weeks. It's a pretty decent sample size. So I like the Gesicki pick.
Okay, we'll see how it goes. We'll see. We'll talk next week and see how that one went.
I would say pick him up over Fant. Start him over Fant and
I'd say Conklin over Gesicki and Fant.
I agree with that. But if Conklin's available, I would do Conklin over Gesicki.
Your defense, you got the Patriots.
That
has Stephen Gilmore on that is at
very
least
old. I do Google images, New England Patriots defense, every single defense, and I just pick the one that I like the most.
There's easy filters for that people just don't use. No one uses those apparently. You can select it for past week, past year, past month.
Well,
and
I don't even.
Any of those would have got you one that works. I promise.
I picked my favorite picture, and it has to be the team posing in the end zone. I don't know if you've noticed.
They have one of those every time they score defensive touchdown. I could find you a better one right now. And okay,
that was the first one that came up that I kind of liked.
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
No, we can still talk about this. No, Patriots over the Dolphins. It's really just the Dolphins are a team you could play a defense against and be very successful right now, with all the injury issues and Tua. I mean, the New England defense is really good. Like I remember, if you remember week 1 when they played the Bengals, I don't remember, but they came out and just dominated, and the Bengals looked like crap. But the New England defense is nothing to what's the phrase? Lift your nose up at, or poke your nose at. What is that phrase called?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever. Stick your thumb up your ass, something like that. And then Jake Bates. I'll always pick Jake Bates for my kicker. Cal, what's up? How we doing? We're looking for pictures, cool pictures of the Patriots defense.
Look at that. That's a cool one. That's a cool one right there too. Look at that. The ball.
No. Scroll down.
That's even cool too. They have like a cool stride.
I saw that one. I almost picked that one. I'll be honest. I almost picked that one.
Either on any of these.
Keep scrolling.
I don't know what this is.
This is not my style.
That one's good.
You need to know my style though. Search Patriots defense pose. Just do Patriots defense. All right. Well, don't do it. Okay.
Look at that one. Look how hyped they are right there.
That's a better picture, but that's also a dated one.
It's not as dated.
It's the same group.
No, it's not.
That is. Is that
Gilmore?
Is that? Oh, never mind.
Whatever. I'm done with this.
Kel, who's injured on your fantasy team? It's gonna take a second to.
Oh, that's rough.
I'm playing it.
Shakir's out, isn't he? How hurt is he? I just saw he was out for this game. I didn't see much else. But hey, that's Keon Coleman time, right? You got Keon Coleman on your squad.
No, I dropped him.
You dropped him?
I've dropped so many people I picked up.
That's the funny thing. I feel like we pick up all these guys. Like, I'm going to stash this guy. By the end of the year, he's going to be great. And then you just drop him the next week. I feel like that happens.
Honestly, Keon Coleman might be a good stash. Like, who knows? But
he's a good start. I would start him this week. I think I would start him in the flex this week. That's who I should have picked as my sleeper receiver.
My team is too stacked to put in.
Oh, yeah. I have the Broncos defense. Notice how this is a recent pick. This is from last week, Brian. They have pictures on the internet from last week. They updated.
That's not a great end
They
zone
update
photo.
the internet frequently, Brian.
It's not a great end zone.
They are always updating the internet. You can find a recent picture without Stephen Gilmore in fucking 2019. Okay.
Are you done?
Evan, yes. It just bothers me, and it shouldn't, but it does. I got Evan McPherson. The Broncos are playing the Raiders. I got Mr. McPherson.
Okay.
I think he can kick some kicks. There's no strategy to
defense.
You have Jake Bates. We were talking about this earlier. You have Jake Bates as your fantasy kicker, and he has Dan Campbell as his coach. That is just not a logical fantasy thing. We just like it for the jokes.
I like Jake Bates just because of XFL, UFL stuff. Names we like. I made these two up. No big deal.
I'm proud of you.
Wherefore art thou, Romeo? Because he skipped practice and now he's suspended. And then Joe's Backo. Thought that was pretty cool.
It could be Joey B, like Joe Burrow Backo, because Joe Burrow is finally making throws again.
Bruh.
He's like a top 10 quarterback this year on fantasy, I think.
Who is Joey?
Joey Burrow, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Is he really?
But yeah, he was like QB7 coming on in the season.
I mean Justin Fields though. That could be a whole.
He's been great. I was gonna pick him as my quarterback, but he wasn't there. I think he's
owned by over 50% now.
Yeah.
At this point. But yes, there's our picks.
Yeah, that was it. That was
we didn't even talk about Devontae Adams either, so that's crazy.
We didn't. You want to go to Baltimore? We should take a virtual tour of Edgar Allan Poe's house.
Let's do it. I commented on Ian Rappaport's tweet about Devontae Adams. Got 2 likes from random people. No big deal.
Oh, very cool, man.
No big deal. I said, "Oh, my hamstring's feeling much better now, Mr. Jackson."
What?
That's my comment. It said Devontae Adams' hamstring should be healthy by next week as trade talks ramp up. And I said, "Oh, my hamstring's feeling much better now."
No, that happens, but apparently what the experts are saying, not the experts, the reporters are saying it's a real injury and that he's going to have to join the team when he's healthy again.
Okay.
This is the Poe Museum. I want to see his home.
Yeah, I want to see where he grew up.
I want to see where
did he get those twisted thoughts from? Sitting alone in his bedroom as a teenager, just thinking about crows. And what was another poem that Edgar Allan Poe wrote? By the way, I just realized Poe, P-O-E, is one letter off from poem and poet. You ever think about that? Just something to think about.
What? Poe?
What? Poe, poet.
Like the Pope?
His
real name was Al Araf? Oh, no. That was a poem.
Look up Edgar Allan Poe's most famous. I know we obviously all know The Raven. I know there's one that's like knocking at the door or tapping at the door. That might be The Raven. Al Araf's famous poems, Knocking on the Door. Dude, what the hell? You need to get rid of the Al Araf part.
What am I typing?
You're so out of it. Annabelle Lee, that was what it was. There it was. It was The Raven. It was The Raven.
Weak and weary, over many a quaint and courteous volume of forgotten lore. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping as of someone gently rapping, ribbity rap 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 at my chamber door.
Annabelle Lee is the one that.
Annabelle, scared.
Annabelle living. Annabelle living. Annabelle Drizzy. It was many and many a year ago in a kingdom by the sea that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love. Why am I doing this? And be loved by me. Your turn.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I want to listen to you read.
I was a child, and she was a child in the kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabelle Lee. Dude, how much longer is this thing going to take? That was like a minute and a half. Read the ditty line.
It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabelle Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs in heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabelle Lee.
Now, why?
Wait, keep listening. There's a ditty line, apparently.
Why do you think the wind was blue?
Why do you think the wind was blue?
It was blue because it was depressed?
No, BLEW.
Oh, like the wind blew out of
You idiot. wait. Keep going. No, keep playing. We want to dissect it a little more. No, Max wants to hear it. He says,
stupid.
I'm sorry, man. I apologize. Can we go back to it, please? Come on, dude. Do it for Max Herzog.
It was many and many a year ago.
You started over.
That a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabelle Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs in heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabelle Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea. By the sea.
There's a pun?
It's not really, but it was funny.
Lee is sever.
Are we going to finish it?
Yeah, let's skip to the good part.
My soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. And the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. And so all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea.
God, he killed her?
Dude, why do I have a boner right now?
Bro, he killed her?
Sorry.
He fucking killed her?
I don't think he killed her. Is that what it was saying?
She was always dead the whole time. It's like Inception.
Dude, if this was like the best picture of Edgar Allan Poe, no wonder why he was so sad, like depressed. Like he looks.
Those eyes are so sad, bro.
He looks like. You know what he looks like? He looks like those child laborer pictures from like the early 1900s, and then you put a mustache on one of those kids. That's what he kind of looks like.
He's a grown child worker.
He's like a grown child worker in a factory.
He's actually 12 years old.
Yeah. He's like, I was a child with my Annabelle Lee in her sepulcher.
He's like that. What's the kid from Instagram?
She fell. Max said she fell. If you were listening, you would have known. Chimney sweep, ages a lad.
I didn't know how I interpreted it the way I interpreted it. Okay, I thought poetry was subjective.
Here's how I interpreted it.
What's the kid? The Hezbollah? He's like Hezbollah.
He looks. He does kind of look like Hezbollah. If there's a way to screenshot that and put one of those hats that he has, the traditional hats that Hezbollah wears.
Let's see.
Are we looking up more? Here we go. It is Halloween time.
It is. Good time.
Once upon a midnight dreary,
Ooh.
while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint
skip the good part.
curious being throws his shadow on
Talk
the
about
floor,
the Raven more.
Say the thing.
and my soul from out that shadow
Say the thing.
that lies floating on the floor
Quote the Raven.
shall be lifted nevermore.
Well, it's already over. All right.
I remember it ended with it, but that's the end of the first verse ends with quote the Raven nevermore, and then it has like 4 other whatever. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get out of here.
We should end every podcast with a reading.
We should do a poem a day.
All
Keeps,
right.
doctors away. Right.
A lot of engagement on that. Poem.
Appreciate it, guys. Everyone's sharing their love for Edgar Allan Poe.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna head out. Johnny's gonna head out. We're gonna head out.
Should we play the theme song again?
Let's do it.
Let's do it again just for you guys, and you guys can just click the closing tab, and then we can all skedaddle. Ready?
Here we go.
Yeah.
I woke up ready, man. I got a call right after I got dressed. They was coming to pick me up at 9:30 in the morning. I told them I'm gonna be ready.
I like Johnny Barks Show!
All around badass. That's who Johnny Barks is.
Johnny Barks. Shout out to Johnny Barks. They crushed it with the editing.
Yeah, came in here shooting. I mean, I saw his ass walk in here, get a camera on. I had a camera on me as soon as you guys walked in here. I was like, all right, this dude is on it.
What do you mean Barks has fight? Johnny? What do you mean Barks has fight? Johnny? What do you mean Barks?
Bye, everybody.